Thanks, guys.
Also here. John, how confident are you that in the end you'll ultimately have the financing to get this ballpark built with all the cost overruns that could come into play given the economy, tariffs, things that are totally out of your control?
Yeah, well, as we have regular budget meetings, as you could expect on a project like this, and the impact of tariffs has been something that we've been talking about for the last 6+ months, and so we're prepared whatever may happen with regard to material costs, and we've planned for that in the budget for our stadium.
Do you believe it's done by 2028?
I do. There's absolutely no reason why we can't get it done by then. We have in Mortensen McCarthy, one of the great builders in the country who built a ton of these stadiums. They built Allegiant. They know what it takes to get the stadium built and the timeline to make it happen.
John, how important was it knowing what Martin Dain meant to the Raiders and Allegiant to bring him aboard, already sort of knowing the infrastructure of the government here?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Mark is like a jewel, and it's just an incredible find for us to be able to have him, attract him to come in and run our franchise it's just a fantastic opportunity because, among other things, I mean, he's a great operator, he's a great person, he's developed an incredible local connection and credibility in the community, right? I mean, you guys don't know me, but you know Mark. And so that was really important. And he's built, one of the great stadiums in the world, frankly, in Allegiant. And so being able to have somebody who's done this before, who knows the local community, who knows how to sell, was tremendously important for us.
Seems like he's the most important figure in this process going forward, given his ability to get a project across the finish line like he did with Allegiant Stadium.
Hey, the reality is we're going to have thousands of people on this site building this stadium, and each one of them, and I truly believe this, each one of them is the most important person on our project. We would not have gone here if it wasn't for the union support that we got to build this stadium. And they're out here in force, and their workers are going to be out on this site, taking all the risks that they do to make this thing happen for all of our fans and for them as well.
John, you said that you could finance the stadium yourself, but you wanted to have partners here locally. Why was that important to you?
Hey, we're not an expansion team that grew up here in Vegas, right? We are a team that's moving to this community, and it's really important. I think it's important for every community to have a strong contingent of local fans, and by the way, that and local investors. I mean, that starts from the youngest level. We have a whole group of little leaguers, who are out there today, meetings for the local support of our team going forward. And so it's been important to me as we were looking to raise capital that we really focus on raising a substantial amount from local businesses, local individuals who can be part of this.
We know you're going to get tourists out here. What's your pitch?
What?
We know we're going to get tourists out here to the games. So what's your pitch?
I still didn't.
You know that we're going to get
Tourists.
tourists. Yeah, a lot of tourists coming into town. What's the pitch to the local fans to kind of jump on board and back this team? Because they probably all have baseball teams.
Yeah. Look, the answer is we expect we're going to have one of the most exciting teams in baseball. We have the pieces to make that happen today. We've got Mason Miller. We just signed Lawrence Butler to a long-term contract. We signed Brent Rooker to a long-term contract. We've got a manager in Mark Kotze who is an incredible leader and has already bought a house out here in Henderson. So the pitch is going to be we are Vegas's team. We are a local team, and that's we want to start from the youngest of fans, and because if you can get the kids, you can get their parents.
It might take a generation, though, to develop over time.
Yeah.
To get homegrown Ace fans.
Although it takes less time than you think. What it really takes time is it takes time to have a winner. You know, I think we saw with the Golden Knights going to the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year that, you know, they kind of went overnight between being an expansion team to being like Vegas's, you know, great team. And so, you know, our goal, I mean, we have to have here is we have to have a winner.
So, John, to piggyback on that, there's obviously been questions over the last several years in terms of the investment on the payroll of the players. To turn the page a bit, what's your message to the fans that we're ready to turn the page when we get to Vegas and put a winner on the field?
Well, we've already started in that process by signing the, you know, people that you know, like I said, like Lawrence Butler, like Mark Kotze as our manager, like Brent Rooker, to signing them to long-term contracts, which is something we're going to continue to work on. You know, we want people here to understand, hey, these are the guys, and others, of course, as well, who are going to be with us when we open here. And our goal is to continue to build upon what we have. And, you know, building a team is like building anything else. Sometimes it takes more time than you want it to. It's like building a stadium. And so, you know, we think that we have the pieces to make ourselves really successful. One more.
We asked you about the.
What last one?
We asked you about the timeline and the, you know, the finances. It seems like whenever there's a project this size, there's some doubters. There's some people saying, "Is this going to get done?" How do you guys deal with that skepticism when you're working on it every day?
We focus on the people who, you know, are super happy and excited about what we're doing, which is, you know, the vast majority of people. And you know, we have incredible fans already in this community, and you know, kind of couldn't be more excited about that. That's it.
The history.
In a state of amazement.
Swing at a high, deep drive to left field. That day, so that is gone. And you can call it goodbye into the upper deck. The upper deck down the left field line as Canseco gets the home run to make it 3-0. A powering shot into the last deck in the stadium.
Ricky goes, a pitch taken, he's going to have it.